Hi, folks, and welcome to episode 166. If the Quar are the answer, well, the problem is the Quar aren't the answer tonight. We were going to have my brother with us, and we were going to talk about our Quar project, but he's got another project he's got to work on, and that's his family trip to Germany that's coming up in July. So that obviously is quite a bit more important. So that is what he is in the process of doing, is dealing with getting that squared away. So probably we'll be looking at him being with us next week. but in, but until then, we still got plenty of stuff to talk about, no doubt. Um, because we've got my airplane project we can talk about. We got what Reese is doing to talk about. When and if McMurray uh, is able to join us tonight, I'm sure he'll have something to talk about. So, yeah, we will be in no fear of having stuff to talk about. Um, but what I want to do first, of course, is talk about the newest two books that are available from Wiley Games. We got Codex Galactica, the Grim Dark Edition, chronicling the armies of humanity and their many enemies. A supplement for Galactic Heroes in for Wiley Games. This was put together by Jay Wiley's son, Marshall, and he did a really great job. So if you've got a excuse me, if you've got just a just a truckload of 40K miniatures that you don't know what to do with it because you really don't want to play Warhammer 40K anymore because GW has sucked all the fun out of it. Um, Pick it up. It was originally available in PDF only, but now you can get it as an actual full color, perfect bound, soft cover book, uh, and it's really well done. So yeah, check that out. Also, you want to check out Arena of Blood. Arena of Blood is Wiley Games' newest game. It's a completely different system to fight your gladiatorial games with. It's a quick and easy game of gladiatory combat with miniatures. And honestly, if you've checked out his YouTube channel, Wiley Games YouTube channel, you don't have to even have the miniatures to play the game. You can just print out, cut out the cards, and play with the cards. So um, this is a really good game as well. So we actually played it at J3 this past weekend, uh, and we had a lot of fun with it. We had a total of I think 7 players all on there at the same time. So yeah, check it out. I did just get a notification from McMurray. He will be on shortly, so it'll be good to have him on. Um, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great weekend that I just had. Real quickly, going to talk about our other sponsor, and that is head on over to geekgamingusa.com to get your base ready material to make your okay figures look good, your good figures look great, and your great figures look fucking amazing. I don't care if I have to wait 30 minutes or 30 seconds or whatever that time is. I'm gonna say it. They're fucking amazing. If they are great looking miniatures, they will look fucking amazing. There's 3 or 4 f bombs right there in a row. I apologize to you, Reese, but that's how.
No,
That,
I
that's
was just checking. I was checking the time. You're well within the guidelines. You're good.
how. All right. Um, let's see. We had Walkabout Games in here early with a hey-oh. How you doing, Chris Long, if you're back already? Telemachus, procrastination is an art form. Don't be in a hurry to die first. Maxwell Smart. Missed it by that much. As also what I believe Hex to Hex said down here in a little bit. Richard Keenan in the house. Hello, everyone. How you doing, Richard? Hissy Cat. Sup, peeps? How you doing, Hissy? We're doing well. Chuck, Charles, good to see you, buddy. Evening to you. Ashley's in the house. Hi. Hey, boys. How you doing, Ashley? And Hex Hex says, ooh, I almost missed this. And I refer back to Maxwell Smart by that much. Nordic. Sorry I'm late, lads. I was fighting in Normandy. Hey, you do what you got to do. You gotta when you gotta free the Festung Europa, you gotta do what you gotta do. Um, let's go. Ashley says, "Where you go?" Jeffy Nordic says, how goes it, friends?" Again, going real well. Hex Hex says, "Hiya, Ash and everyone." Nordic Hexy is getting ugly fast for the. It is getting ugly fast for the Germans in Normandy. Cherbourg is about to fall to the Americans. Yeah, see what happened there was they decided to get froggy, and no pun intended, and the Germans decided to shoot at a couple of battleships, two in particular that were sitting off the coast of Cherbourg, um, Texas and Arkansas, and they didn't like that a whole lot, and so they started lobbing small sedans at them. Let's see, good stuff normally for Nordic Maelstrom. Yep. Oh, actually, let's know what you're painting. He's painting horses. 54 million
Somewhat.
horses.
Got some horses. I've got some random Arabs with Mausers, and I've got some African adventurers and boars. So
Um, some more back and forth of hi, how you doing, etc. and so forth. Nordic says there's only 8 more turns and it may not make it to that point. The attrition factor is really hampering the Germans big time. The numbers game is coming into play. Yeah. Me and Mike's in the house. His Rangers are currently scaling the cliffs at Point de Hoc. So let's see here. Yeah. So this last weekend, as y'all may or may not know, hopefully before I get into that, hopefully everybody went over and got a chance to watch Hexy and McMurray and Todd and one other fine individual talk about the landings uh, in Normandy. Um, I did not get a chance to. Donna found out that I wasn't going to be having the show that night, so she decided, hey, you know what? Let's have a date night. Let's just hang out together and not worry about anything else. So there we are. Uh, so everybody, I hope got to go over there and watch them for a while. I did catch the first little bit. Looks like things were going well as can be expected when you're dealing with airdrops in the middle of the night. So, um, McHexy, McTodd, McMurray, and McOther individual. There you go. Um, so, but this past weekend, I had some good friends pop in. It wasn't our biggest J3. We only had with Jay and my brother Jay and me included. We had 6 plus a couple of youngsters that played around a bit. The junior wargamer was there. Really proud of him. He sat and played a full game with us, using the real rules and not wanting to stick a frog in there. So I'm 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 so happy that that he's getting really invested and really involved with gaming with his dad and me, and he's got some great ideas for these Quar. I mean, like top notch thinking for games. So it's exciting seeing him come into uh, come into his own, as it were. So
That's really
that's
awesome.
quite fun. But we had my best friend Chris Copeland there. Uh, we had my friend Joel there, uh, and then two more friends, two two former Marines, and one one of those former Marines is now a uh, Navy lieutenant in the reserves. He turncoated. He went from being a Marine sergeant to a squiddy officer. So, but they came down and we had some fun. First night we played Fallout Shelter, the card game, board game. Basically, it is a uh, if you know anything about Fallout Shelter as the app on your space phone, they've made a really good board game or card game version of it. Got to play that. That was a lot of fun. Um, it's out there. I don't know what the price is, but yeah, it's called Fallout Shelter, the card game. You could probably just Google Fallout Shelter board game and you'd find it. Um, but it is a lot of fun. I think it's like 40, 45 bucks out there.
Is that the one we played last year?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
blast.
with the little yeah, vault boys or whatever. Yeah,
Yes.
it was good. And then we didn't play as many games this year as we have in the past. Again, there was only six of us, seven including Joey. But we did a lot of just sitting around and talking and being BSing with each other, which was fine for all of us too. We thoroughly enjoyed all of that. So um, Saturday morning, got a game of Clan War in using just a raft load of um, Lord of the Rings Hero Clicks miniatures. Yeah, they're all the same sculpt, but you know what? So what? We got to duke it out in Middle Earth. It was fun. Uh, Clan War is a pretty decent game, all in all. I like it. Um, things w- things have the potential of going bad very quickly when you lose a unit. If it either it breaks for any reason, um, other units can run away very quickly as well. So yeah, ugh. But it was still fun nonetheless. At which point in time, when that game was over, uh, Copeland uh, drove me back to the house so I could pick up Arena of Blood because I realized there was enough different Lord of the Rings figures to be able to play Arena of Blood with fairly appropriate looking models. So ran down here, picked that up. While we were gone, uh, they broke out Seven Wonders, the board game Seven Wonders. Uh, so there you go. They were playing that when we got back. It was funny as my our buddy Mike Burke was bitching and complaining the entire time during the game of I have no idea what's going on. How do you score the points in this? He ended up winning the game.
That's Mike.
So, but had some fun there. As always, had amazing food. Oh, by the way, Reese,
Mhm.
everybody wanted to say hi to you, let you know that they truly missed you. That they 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 thoroughly enjoy your presence at any gaming event that we're a part of. So there you
Well,
go.
I
You
will. I
you were
will.
missed.
I will plan to be there next year. At that point, I will have PTO.
There you go. There
I'll
you go.
use it.
Um, and I know you're gonna unfortunately miss Battles and Brews, right?
Mhm.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That is
So
a shame. But you will be there for Tacticon.
yes, I will. And if I
Yeah.
am not, my minis will be, and that's really what matters.
No, no, having you there also matters, believe it or not. Um, and McMurray, when he comes on, I'll let him know the same because everybody really missed McMurray there as well. In fact, when Mike found out that both of y'all weren't there, he's like, "Why'd I even show up?"
Yeah.
He was kidding,
There's no
kind of.
one to play. There's no one to play Undaunted Battle of Britain until 3, 4 in the morning.
Right, right.
I
So
thought about y'all when I unpacked that.
there you go. Um, and then the food was amazing as always. Mrs. Wargamer, my sister-in-law Beth, put together a fair feast as always. Uh,
I mean, half the fun of J3 is just the food.
yeah, yeah. We had the Italian beef sandwiches. Yep, yeah. And then for breakfast we had a breakfast Saturday morning. We had the um, cinnamon and cinnamon and caramelized sugar French toast bake. That's so good. For lunch, we had we had the most amazing chicken salad you will ever eat. It's the same chicken salad she did last year. Um, and then for dinner we had tacos or nachos or whatever you however you wanted to put your spiced beef into your gullet, whether it was in tortillas or in type of chips. So then for his birthday, Jay received a second edition copy of Space Hulk, complete, complete copy of second edition Space Hulk. So we decided to play, and I don't think. Oh, our buddy Eric was there also. Eric did show up Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Um, I don't think Eric, Mike, and I are going to be able to play that game as the Space Marines if we're together because we just had too much fun. One of the quotes is was on the other side of the door, all you hear is a Gene Steeler rave. Because they were all just piling up behind this one door that the Marines had to go through.
Oh man,
And we were out there going,
I got to take a good look at those rules
they're pretty good. I mean,
because you know I enjoy stuff like that. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying that Way City was Space Hulk, but you could tell it was Space Hulk inspired as far
Oh,
as
yeah.
the idea of it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a, I'll tell you, the, for me, um, Games Workshop was at its pinnacle from about 93 to about 98. That 5 years, um, because you had so much. That's when you had Space Hulk. That's when you had oh the ship game. no, Battlefleet Gothic.
Yeah.
Um, you had, what was it, about seventh edition Fantasy Battle, um, Mordheim, Necromunda. I mean, all the greats were right in that time frame. So, um, yeah, it's and the miniatures were even painted in a decent, pretty good. I mean, they weren't, you know, they weren't slapped on like what I do. Meander Mike says I liked some Games Workshop board games back in the '80s. I wasn't interested in their minis back then. You know what, and that's fine. But I will tell you, Space Hulk, second edition Space Hulk, is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, um, especially when you have the right group of guys playing. So, um, yeah, we pretty much wrapped up the gaming with that. I did get a bit of I did get a bit of an introduction to Seven Wonders. We played two of the three ages, uh, but the owner of the board game had to drive back to Chicago, so we wrapped it up and headed out. But yeah, it was a good weekend all in all.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. So next, I'm in the process of getting my next project worked on. Um, I've got all of my bombers completed. They've been painted. They've been fully decaled. They've had their little nubs that are on the bottom of the airplanes clipped off and replaced with magnets. I found big enough or bigger sized bigger sized magnets. So now what I've got left to do is I got to paint my German aircraft, and then once the German aircraft are painted, start decaling. And if I'm not mistaken, I've got, let's see, 18 airplanes left to put decals on. Um, so, excuse me, 18 airplanes left to put decals on. Actually, 18 and a half. Um, I figured once I get the Germans painted, because I'm hoping it's not going to take too long to get them painted. Um, but once I get them painted, if I can do one airplane per day, decal wise, I should have, I should be able to have everything ready to go well in time for Battles and Brews. So there you have it. Um, and then, of course, I'm working on my Quar. I've got 15 of the little buggers built already. Uh, um, and I didn't have to build him. He was 3D printed. Jay printed him for me, brother Jay. But I've got an idea of the colors I want to get him painted. So we will be working on that. I did get the farmhouse printed. Um, I don't know where the bottom. Oh, there it is. Um, I did get the farmhouse printed. I did run out of gray filament partially through the print. Luckily, the printer has a auto stop when you run out, so all I had to do was reload it, uh, and was able to get it back going again, and it finished out. The only problem I had the entire time was this little corner got is kind of folded up a little. You can barely notice it though. So it's actually 20% shorter than the actual model because we wanted it to be, you know, put in put into scale for our little dudes. I didn't want to make it 20% smaller all the way around, just 20% shorter. So I've got that done. I'm gonna get some walls done. So there you go. Let's see. What's the name of the horse?
I haven't given him one yet. I'm still on a horse with no name because if I name him, it's probably going to be something like Jack, and then I'll start singing. I had a horse, his name was Jack, who rode his tail to save his back. We know how that
There
goes.
you go. Yeah, Mike. The Quar or anthro anthropomorphic anteaters that are basically at the level of World War I to early 1920s technology. um, Charles says tired of gluing arms and legs and heads and weapons to bodies that may be in one or two pieces. BS. Nordic says go with white metal miniatures. Chuck just got to trim some flash, and that is all. Telemachus popping off with riding through the desert with a horse with no name. There you go. Reese should get out of the rain. Uh, Charles says Raul Partha led or nada. And Telemachus is breaking into the la 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 part of the song. Uh,
Y'all
let's
are
see.
lucky that I get pop culture references from before my generation.
Hexa Hex says you could name it Sir Glue. There you go. Nordic says name the horse generic horse one.
I think I'll call this one Kibbles and the next one Bits.
I like that. Kibbles and bits. There you go. Um, no, they do not live in quarries. They let me see. What would where would they live? They might work in quarries, but no. The table we're looking to have the table. We're gonna have some fruit grove trees in there. We're gonna have some beehives. We're gonna have some. We're gonna use 128 millimeter or not 128 shit 28 millimeter um, dragon's teeth, but we're gonna paint them up like termite mounds because they're farming the termites because that's what one does.
You're an anteater. I
Exactly.
get it.
They're technically omnivores, so they could also eat small rodents and whatnot also. Excuse me. But yeah, we'll get Jay and I will get into more of it hopefully next week. Like I said, he's with Mrs. Wargamer planning out their summer trip to Germany. So they're going to be over there for like 10 days in July. So it says Better base a dog with the horses, Reese.
Why is that?
That's what Nord says.
I've got some dogs.
Uh,
I just gotta find them.
Mike, you lost me at Braunschweiger, but you got me back with the Colby Jack and the stone ground mustard. Oh, he says you gotta have the dog there because the horses are kibbles and bits. If you have one that's pulling a a wagon,
Mhm.
you need to name him Chuck because then you have the Chuck and the wagon. So you got Chuck Wagon. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I know. Well,
I've got mule teams. So,
the lead mule there could be Borax.
mhm.
Excuse me. Um, the other project that I'm going to be working on once I get all my, and this is one I'm going to be working on after I get all the airplanes done. So this is going to be after July, but I'm going to have to get it going pretty quick because I'm going to have to be working on that one in tandem with my Quar project, and that is the I'm going to have to print and paint up all the ships for my kind of what if game of Ocean Thunder for Tacticon also. Are you wagging the dog or are you wagging the dog? There you go. That'd be a good name for the dog. You could have Chuck the horse and Wagon the dog.
Let's call him Buckboard.
Huh?
Let's call the
What'd you
dog
say?
Buckboard.
There you go. Yeah, buckboard. So, I did. I say I did. Oh, yes, I did get. I did pull my copy of Ambush Valley
Okay.
for Force on Force. Um, so I'm going to start thumbing through that for force composition.
Okay.
Uh,
I have a copy as well. If you want to throw something my way, feel free to just say, hey, look at this page, and send me a page number.
yeah.
So
Um, I know this is probably a little bit later than what we're intending, but uh, I think we could use it to base off of what we're wanting to look at, and that is the scenario, the longest fight. It's in Analog 1972,
okay.
and
Now keep in mind, much to um, McMurray's dismay, I have a mixed force of M14s and M16s.
I don't care.
I don't know if that matters with force on force or not,
No, no,
but
because it's very much it's very much a game of it's the soldier, not the weapon.
okay, understood.
It's the quality of the soldier that really determines what happens. The weapon, it doesn't matter if it's an AK-47 or an M16 or
Hmm.
uh, an M14. They're all semiotic, maybe automatic,
Yeah.
shoulder fired, handheld weapons, right?
Okay.
Because at the ranges that we're dealing with, um, I mean, most games would consider what we're going to be doing is close combat,
Hmm. Yeah.
and whereas in this game, close combat is actually hand to hand combat. Um, so Uh, I'm envisioning the table only being being that it's a 50 uh, 54 millimeter. I would I would say probably a 4 foot by 4 foot table
Okay.
is all we're gonna really need.
Well, and at ground scale, right?
Yeah.
4 foot is. Hang on just a second. That can't be right. Hang on.
54
Multiply,
millimeter
not divide.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, the table, the actuality is on a 4 foot table in the real world is 3 feet. Wait, no, what?
Yeah, I was like, that's what I was. 140 feet. So we're
Yeah,
we're dealing
so
we're dealing with half a
so
football field.
right, yeah, you're talking like 140 feet is what basically actually less than less than 50 yards.
Hmm.
So
Which I mean,
yeah,
at
it's
that range,
with
buckshot
that.
is still incredibly lethal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's not going to matter whether it's an M16 or an M14. It really doesn't matter.
Now,
Uh,
please do get me what weapon teams I need because I can get them, I can build them.
oh yeah, no,
We'll get it done.
we'll
So
I will get something figured out. I'm wanting to be able to. I'm want, and I think we can scale it pretty well to be able to be run um, with up to 8 players effectively.
okay,
With as few as I would say we could play with just two, but I think the optimum lower number is going to be four.
okay.
So
Two
I'm hoping to have
experienced players or four new players.
yeah, yeah. And if I have to play, I'll play, but I'd prefer to be the GM type of situation. Um, let's see here. Nordic says, "Hey Chuck, for Halloween, you should dress up as a wagon. Call yourself Chuck Wagon." Charles says, "I don't do Hollow Weird." Uh, there you go. Uh, Chuck Wagon, a game of going west. Yeah, that's called the Oregon Trail, and you died of dysentery. I was going to get some 10 millimeter, but decided on more 2 millimeter. Just need decent mini rules. So, Charles? What are you looking to do with your 2 millimeter dudes? What era? What type of combat are you looking at? Um, Mandarin Mike says I went crazy buying 20 millimeter Napoleonic weird stuff last week. Tlumix says what, like beat cannons? Yeah. Oh, you died of snake bites? I never. No, snake. See, what happens is you get out there and you start making fun of the sergeant from 9-9, and he comes up and punches you, and you die of dysentery. Terry Crews. Hey, hack and slash, no gunpowder. Um, Honestly, a good game system, and I'm assuming maybe no magic. Honestly, black powder. Well, not black powder. Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar's not a bad set of rules. Honestly, um, you can also easily do bigger battles with 2 millimeter stuff. Um, I'm just thinking with the right finessing, you might be able to do Altar of Freedom. Uh, you could change out. You could change out. Shooting of cannon and muskets with arrows, spears, and ballista. So there's options for you. There's options. Um, Nord says that that wouldn't happen. I've got a number of quad 50 cals on my chuck wagon. No one's coming to punch me anytime soon, Dak Nabbit. Well, if it's on the Oregon Trail, you're not going to have quad 50s, but what you could have is several 7-barreled Gatling guns flinging whatever size rounds. What is that? Were those 45 caliber, 54 caliber?
The originals were 50. Uh,
Okay, yeah. I
they
mean, you could technically have quad 50s, but they're not mod deuce.
it it depends. It depends on the era, right? So the original 1865 was a 50. Later on, they adopted them to take 4570, which I'm sorry, full auto 4570 sounds like a bad day for somebody.
As long as it didn't jam. That was the problem I always heard about those things is that they did have a propensity to jam if you cranked too fast.
Yeah, I don't know much about them, but I do know the 4570 cartridge, and it is a beast.
Yeah, yeah, it's less than optimal. Less than optimal.
I mean, I don't want to get shot with a BB gun, let
Oh
alone.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mr. McMurray, how are you, sir?
I am well. I'm tuning in, but I'm not getting too good of anything to be honest with you. But yeah,
That's okay. We're glad you're here. We missed you this past weekend, as you know.
yeah, I know, man. I was sad to see it.
Hey, it's okay. That's okay. Mr. Burke said that when he found out that you and Reese weren't going to make it, it's like, well, why am I even here? So, but we had a good time.
Well,
We had a
that
good time.
happens. That's how I feel when I go to a convention. AC and Mike in there.
Yep, yep. So, I mean, if Mike's
Have you been
not
doing a
there,
recap of
Steve's not.
that?
What's that?
Is did you guys do a recap of that?
Yes, I did. Yeah. So, if you get a chance, you can rewatch and see what we did. You did. I will give you
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
highlights. You missed out on great food as always that Mrs. Wargamer put together for us.
Always.
We had that amazing Italian beef. We had amazing chicken salad for lunch the next day, and that kick-ass uh, French toast casserole that she does.
Hell yeah.
So, and you also missed out on the game of Gene Steeler Rave. Uh, Mike Burke got Jay a complete copy of uh, second edition Space Hulk,
Nice.
and we played that Saturday night, and it was Eric, me, and Burke playing as the Gene Steelers. Buddy Copeland and Joey played the Space Marines, um, and Joey did an amazing job of sitting through, playing the game all the way through. Uh, he kept with it and didn't want to introduce a frog into it at once.
That's awesome.
So,
Nice.
yeah, like I said, I'm really happy that he is falling into loving being with us and gaming with us to the enjoyment of everybody. So quite fun,
Absolutely.
quite fun. So I did get all of my B-17s finished. They are ready to go
Hell yeah.
for my aircraft game, and I figured once I get my German airplanes finished painted, uh, I will have 18 and a half planes to put decals on. I figured if I get one, at least one a day, I've got enough time to get done for Battles and Brews. And the reason why I say
Nice.
18 and a half is because I've got this one that I've got stars and bars on and the little checkerboard around the nose, but I don't have the side numbers on it. I've decided I'm not gonna worry about getting putting the names on any more of the P-51s.
Solid.
It's just too much of a pain in the dingus.
I can only imagine.
Um, but
Are
yeah.
you ditching the tail numbers too?
Oh, I'll put the tail numbers on.
Okay.
I'll get the tail numbers on. That's no question there. But getting the names first off, getting the names cut out small enough is a pain in the ass, and then getting them actually laid on there is an even bigger pain in the ass. So, so what have you been working on, Mr. McMurray? Besides playing games in Normandy?
What?
What have you been working on besides playing games in Normandy?
That's most of it. I played through that local St. Louis, the historical gaming company
Yeah,
that made Battle for St. Louis and Cahokia and everything. Mike's got a ton of good videos about that. But I played through his French and Indian War game. That was good.
cool,
And other than that, it's just been in the woods.
outstanding,
Yeah.
outstanding. Yeah, it's you're at scout camp already.
Hell yeah.
Outstanding, outstanding. Good stuff. You're running the gun range,
Nah, backpacking, dude.
backpacking. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's outstanding. It's great.
Yeah, I'm. Let's see. This is 36 years since I went to Canada on my canoe trip with my dad,
Nice.
and we're coming up on 38 years since I've been to Philmont. I just realized I'm old.
My last trip to Philmont was maybe 13 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
My first one was damn near 20.
Yeah. Yeah. I only got to go once to Philmont. Once to Philmont and once up to the border boundary waters in Minnesota and Canada. Both
Yep.
times had a lot of fun. Both times I was carrying packs well above what should be considered healthy. At Philmont, I had the largest backpack volume wise. I had like a 5,800 cubic inch volume backpack. And so everybody kept on saying, "Who's got room for this?" I do. So I ended up with a 55-pound pack to start off with,
Goodness.
which was almost, actually, it was over a third of my
Good
weight.
lord.
Yeah.
That's insanity. What the actual fuck did you pack? It was
I don't know. I packed half the damn kitchen.
55 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair, but
Yep.
Jesus.
16
I think
years
before
old.
food.
Carton of fiction. What's that? Chris Long's back. Welcome back, Chris Long. So what have you guys been doing out there? I know Charles is looking
I
to get
can't
more
stand.
two
I'll be
millimeter
right
stuff.
back.
Okay. I know Charles has been looking at more 2 millimeter stuff. Chris Long, what have you been up to? Talk to us. Tell us what you're doing out there. You Donna went out and on my birthday, or the day after my birthday. We stopped at the game store, and she bought me Krennic.
That's awesome.
Well, I had him. I painted him. He looked really good, and now I can't find him. So she bought me a new one. Um, so
It's like me when I realized my entire 25-man camel corps was missing.
yeah. Walkabout is building buildings and more buildings all the city blocks.
Feel
There
that
you
one.
go. Telemachus says proto commies. When you mean proto commies, are you talking about early 1900s Russians? Because that's what I think when I hear proto commies. But you know, um,
It's probably unused pencils.
unused pencils.
Hmm. There's a possibility for barks.
Nice.
Sorry.
Oh man. Yeah. So the next thing I got to print out is I'm going to print out walls for um for the farm. Um, and then after I get the walls for the courtyard done, then I'll print out the barn. But we got to make sure that we can fit a truck, whatever truck we decide to have these little guys have, to be able to fit into the barn. Does the truck work? Don't know. Gotta run have to roll a task check. Um, we're also gonna have a dirigible flying over the table. Don't know how big we're gonna make it, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good.
Sounds like a blast.
These little guys, it's first off, they're just so cool. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. They've got more character in their little snout than the entirety of a Space Marine chapter has. I mean, look at this little guy. He's just adorable. Um, this is a what they call a torpedo loader, and each one of these little cylinders is a warhead for a kind of like a Bangalore torpedo, but I think it actually shoots the charge a distance. Uh, I'm not sure exactly how it works in world in universe, but he's got three in a backpack, and then he's carrying four more. He's got two in each hand, and then two stacked on top of that, and he's standing there next to the torpedoer.
So God help him
To
if he gets sniped in the back.
right, and this is what they call an is Keratin. He is a section leader. Um, two squads make a section for the Crusaders, who I am building. You've got 10 guys in a uh, 10 guys in a squad. Seven with the standard 12 millimeter assault rifle, and then three guys. Is that right? Six guys. No, six guys with the standard assault rifle. Well, technically, yeah, 7, but 6 with the assault rifle, uh, 3 with the heavier, like squad weapon, like a BAR, and then a Milwer, which is like your corporal or your sergeant, leader of the squad. He normally carries the 12 millimeter assault rifle also, and by assault rifle it looks like a M1917 30 caliber water cooled machine gun. So it's got a big cylinder with a with a, the so you got the cylinder like this, and then the barrel down low like that, and it's box fed. So uh, yeah, no cheese. I'm sure they like eating cheese, but that's what this guy's going to be carrying. This is the cook, and he's probably got cheese on him somewhere. And what's cool is how they communicate between units is squirrel messengers. So in the company command structure or in the company command unit, they've got a cook, and then they've also got a squirrel handler. They're called pike squirrels, and they've actually got a model that's got the little squirrels, and you actually can buy extra squirrels if you want to. So yeah,
Oh, that would be fun. Squirrel
yeah,
has to stay on task and has to
yep,
pass a minor task roll to keep going.
and and not get sniped by a sniper.
Yeah.
It's the snipers are trained to watch for the squirrels to snipe the squirrels.
Arkansas
Uh,
boys would be pretty good at that role.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, or my stepdad, um, he he actually went squirrel hunting once, and he got a squirrel, but he shot what
Shoot the
it
branch
it
underneath it, or
it was no he hit the squirrel, and apparently I don't know what he was shooting, but it was more than he wasn't expecting that round to be in the weapon because it stretched out the squirrel. It it it, the squirrel went from like this to like this.
have a turkey load or some buckshot in there. Just
I don't know
whoa.
what I don't know what it was. Uh, some maybe it was some sort of fancy 22 because I think he took his 22 out.
Gotcha.
It was some fancy, you know, not that you could get real fancy with 22 rounds, but it was like a hollow. Maybe it was a hollow tip 22 or something.
Right.
Um,
I'll tell one on a buddy of mine. So we were down in South Arkansas in the swamps, and we were deer hunting. And down there, you deer hunt with shotguns. But we also packed a lot of bird shot because there's plenty of squirrels down there in the swamps, and you just pick them off as you're going along and everything else. Well, my buddy thought he had a slug loaded in the shotgun, and he did not. He had bird shot, and he knew he needed to switch ammunition to shoot a squirrel. So he chucks that bird shot out, puts that slug in there, boom, and the tree branch and the squirrel go.
oops.
Yeah, and I said, Josh, well, whatever. You didn't hear his name. I said, what'd you just shoot that with? He said, bird shot. I don't know if it came out of the wad or what. I said, pick up your hole, look at the shell. He goes, one out slug.
Oh man. Oof.
I
Oh
said, I don't think
man.
we're eating him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Josh Qualtieri is a very creative individual. Yeah, the squirrel handler actually has a basket on his back, and if I remember correctly, he's got like a squirrel sitting on his shoulder, and it's a cool looking little model. Um, but yeah, it's if y'all have not gone over to Zombie Smith and looked at these little guys, man, they just and you look at them on the website and oh man, those look so cool, and then when you get them in hand, it's like you got to have more of them. You got to have more of them because they're just so cool looking. I mean, and they could be all sorts of different colors. Like Donna painted this guy up with blue, and they've got blue and orange and yellows and reds and pinks and purples and yellows and greens and just all different colors. So you can, I'm going to test out to see if I can't use use my contrast paints to get a quick paint job on them, and still look pretty decent. So we'll see what happens there. But he is a cool guy. He used to do my casting for me before I got my spin casters. He did that as a sideline when he was at Pixar. Oh, there you go. Yes, they are Rainbow Quar. Is insanity contagious? If you watch this show, yes. Look at Reese. He was a normal, well mannered young man that
I don't.
liked to, upon occasion, get out in the middle of the road and fight cows, as one does.
Well, I mean,
And now look at him.
when in cattle country,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, only those who are insane can say who is sane. Nordic says Reese made a pact with Cthulhu. That's why he is weird. Could be. Speaking of Cthulhu, I just finished listening to a book, and I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, I wrote a book and I listened to it on Audible. No, I listened to a book, which I have no problem with. If you, that's how you get you know, your written literature ingested, fine by me. But because that's what I do. But I just finished a book um, written by Roger Zelazny called "A Night in the Lonesome October," and it's such a good book. Um, it's it takes place over the entire month of October, from the like day one all the way up to day 31, and it's from the viewpoint of Snuff, the guard dog, and there is a thing that is going to happen on October 31st that only happens occasionally when the full moon is at its height on the 31st. And you've got characters in there like Jack, who is an Englishman that carries a knife. There's the good doctor and his experimental man. There's the count. Um, for those that really know your 1950s horror movies, Larry Talbot is in there, and all of these different characters have animal familiars. And so, being that it's told from the perspective of Snuff the guard dog, who runs around with Jack, um, he's interacting with all these familiars. There's a cat, there's a owl, a raven shows up, a bat, a rat, a snake. Uh, it's it's just a fun it's a fun book. And it's not that long of a book either. I don't know how many pages it is, but it's like 6.5 hour read time. If if you read at a normal uh, space or a normal pace, I should say. Um, that's how long it takes for me to listen to it on Audible. About 6.5 hours, and it's such a good book. I highly recommend it. It's the second time I've gone through it. Um, that may be one. That may be the next book that I actually go out and buy uh, to read with Donna, because it's going to sound sappy, but when it's when it's time for us to hoof off to bed, we take our showers, we get into bed, and I read to her until she falls asleep. It's just something that we do. Um, yeah, I know it's sappy, but you know what? Hey, that's we've been married 24 years coming this August, so I got to be doing something right. But yeah, check out that book. It's like I said, it's really good. A night in the A Night in the Lonesome October by Roger Zelazny. Um, it's really well done. I just started listening to Ender's Game. I've read it once before, so but now I'm listening to it. Um, Before I listened to the Zelazny book, I um, what did I what did I just finish listening to? I just finished listening to Oh, A Stranger in a Strange Land. I've listened to that a couple of times. So, oh, thank you, Marcher and Mike. I appreciate that. Mike says
Um,
tis very sweet. Marcher says not sappy. Well, thank you.
I'm, I'm currently reading African Game Trails by Theodore Roosevelt, and the
Probably not necessarily one you would want to share with the wife.
not really, uh, but the edition that I have is illustrated with photographs taken by Kermit Roosevelt on the expedition.
Oh, very cool.
So it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So that may or may not be what got me back into my African adventure miniatures. So
Yep. So that's what turn of the century time frame, right?
1907.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, turn of the 20th century, because we're far enough into this century now to be able to say the turn of the century, referring to the early 2000s.
That's weird, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
No, the turn of the century I wish that I had got to experience.
Let's put it this way, Reese. From the year I was born, we are the same number of years away from my year of birth on the timeline that
Mhm.
1918 is from my year of birth, going the other direction.
Okay, makes sense.
That's just that just weirds me out, because thinking that somebody that was born in 1918 was only 54 when I was born. 1918 might as well be ancient history.
You want me to blow your mind?
Go ahead, hit me.
Gone with the Wind is closer to the Civil War than modern day.
Yes, yes, it is. Here's one that will really get you. We are close. We are closer in time to Cleopatra than Cleopatra was to the finishing of the Great Pyramids
Right.
by like 500 years.
I do want to clarify with Nordic though. I lived through all that. That was fine. I wanted to live through 1899 to 1900.
Yeah, but you fit that. You fit that mold. You fit.
I guess I do, but
Um, Charles has been watching Black Sails on Netflix. Um, Me and Mike's watching or reading Carpathian Disaster: Death of an Army. Nordic, I'm about to start the Black Fleet Crisis trilogy from the Star Wars expanded universe. There you go.
have you watched Acolyte at all?
I have watched. Yeah, I watched the first 3 episodes. I like it. I I'm I don't understand. Well, I do understand. It is people that are so invested in just the original trilogy that they will they can't just let it go and enjoy it. Oh, it's horribly written. I don't. So is the original trilogy. If you on oh there we it's not that we don't like female characters. We just don't like bad female characters. We like good female characters. There's nothing wrong with these female characters. Um, but yeah, I like it so far.
I
Um,
haven't watched it yet, so I'm still finishing Bad Batch season 2.
I got to finish bad. The thing is, I need to finish the final season of Bad Batch, but I'm afraid to finish the last season of Bad Batch
I am too.
because ultimately I know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know the specifics, but I have a feeling I know what's happening, and I don't think I can handle it if it's anything like the last 3 episodes of the Clone Wars. Those 3 episodes of the Clone Wars wrecked me.
they were so good though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were amazing. They
Yeah,
were great. It again proves to me that Dave Filoni knows Star Wars.
Dave Filoni knows how to write a story.
Yes, and he knows Star Wars, so he can
Yes,
write a good Star Wars story.
yes.
Um, his guy wants to know about the Y10K issue, dude. I don't care. Um, and actually, that's just the binary Y. That's just binary Y2K. So we've already lived it because we all know 1 0 is 2. Uh, Chris, some of it is people making money hating it. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But then there's just these people that are piling onto it. Yes, let's say I'm one of the people getting paid to hate on it, but it'd be like you guys just jumping on just to hate on it to hate on it. I don't know. Anyway, problem for Disney stuff for me. It the hell happened there? What did I touch?
I don't know.
Um,
Horse number one is
Notice
gone.
is we can't leave politics out of it and continue to push agendas. Nor, I mean, if I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and if you decide not to watch anymore, that's fine. But there's always been politics in Star Wars. There's always been agendas pushed in Star Wars. It's
I mean,
just
a New Hope is an analogy for Vietnam, and no, the stormtroopers aren't commies.
no. Mm-mm. Um, It's just we have the internet now. Um,
Well, I'd say Vallejo primer and paint works on Toy Soldiers of San Diego.
let's take a look.
I'll let it see if I can focus it. I don't know how, but we'll figure out how to focus it. Okay.
You know what? And this is not a bad thing.
Yeah, there we go.
That's not. This isn't a bad thing. That looks like the horses, the four horses that are pulling the wagon in Olathe. The statue in Olathe going down 69.
Yeah. Mhm. I'm sorry. I thought you meant the stagecoach in Olathe, and I was like, "Do you remember
No,
what I
no, no,
used
no,
to
no,
do?"
no. That used to be across from the Honda dealership there on 69, US
Yep.
69.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's you're not talking about the flat
huh?
sculpture. You're not talking about the flat sculpture. You're talking about
No,
the
no,
one
no,
that's
no.
like coming out of the wall.
No, I'm talking about like it was like a four little horses pulling a little wagon, full three-dimensional walk around it right across from the Honda dealership on US 69 in Olathe as you're driving south. It's on the west side,
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes.
just
Sorry.
before you just before you get down to 95th Street, and where Tabletop is. About
Yes.
a mile north of that.
Yes. I know what you're talking about now.
So um, that's good. It's good to have people understand what's going through my brain
Hmm. Well,
when I
I
start
just
talking about a place.
it's funny because you're talking
Uh,
about Kansas City, and I'm sitting here in Fayetteville, and you're sitting in Illinois, and we know exactly what we're talking about.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Um, but yeah, those last three episodes of Clone Wars, especially the last 15 minutes of the last episode, just yeah. Uh, and I know something to that level is going to happen with um, it's going to happen uh, with
bad
the end of
batch.
Bad Batch. Something's going to happen to Omega, or something's going to happen to Wrecker, or excuse me, Rekka and Omega. Uh, and it just I won't be able to handle it.
I'll be right back. I'm out of
Sure,
range for
sure,
my
go ahead,
headphones.
do your thing. Um, so as we watch him rustling through his stuff, you looking for another horse, of
Camel.
course. Camel. Oh, there you go.
Trying to figure out how to improve this paint job. So,
Um, pop him up there. Let's take a look at it. Honestly, just a wash.
that's what I'm thinking too.
Do a
A
strong
wash.
wash.
Mhm.
Do a strong wash with him from Army Painter, and then do some Iraqi sand dry brush. Very light Iraqi sand dry brush.
And then paint his eyes in.
Yeah,
Touch up some
but I think
chipping. Maybe redo the baggage because the baggage is all chipped up, and then put some proper basing on him. I think he's good.
well, you know the basin you're going to use, right?
I have it.
There you go.
So, yeah, I've got some baggage camels because I got my desert table out again. I was thinking how funny it would be to have a scenario where you've got a bunch of different forces trying to get baggage camels off the table, and
Yeah,
the baggage camels may or may not resist being pulled off the table.
Mandarin Mike says relight his cigarettes,
Mm-hmm.
but we got to go unfiltered because that's how we run this show, unfiltered. Um, Take care, Nord. Be well. Thanks for watching, buddy. Keep on coming back. We appreciate everything you add to the show. Um, get some rest. This weekend, what I'm doing is going to be very tiring. I'm ripping the deck boards off my deck and putting new deck boards in. We're replacing the wood with composite. Hopefully, it's not going to take too long. It's only 32 boards, so and we don't have to worry about rebuilding the framework. I don't think. I think it's still pretty solid. But what's crazy is the railing costs more than the deck boards.
Oh, with composite, absolutely.
Oh, it's vinyl. It's just white vinyl.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. Um, Take care, Nord. Good night. Good night now. Um, but yeah, so Saturday, that's we're getting up early Saturday morning. It's being delivered by the lumber yard sometime probably between 7 and 8 o'clock, probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Uh, Ripping the boards off of the deck, sir. Deck. Delta Echo Charlie Kilo Weasel. Um, so we got that, and then Sunday, I'm not gonna get to watch it, and I don't want to watch it. But Sunday, the San Antonio Brahmas are playing the Birmingham Stallions in the UFL championship game. And if I didn't have to worry about thinking I would still have a bit of deck to build, there's a good possibility that I might have thought about buying tickets to the game because it's in St. Louis and they've got tickets for as little as $9 a piece. Um, because all of the St. Louis fans for all of last year and most of this year were put the championship game in St. Louis. We will sell it out. Doesn't matter who's there. We will sell it out. We will fill the dome and we will make it great. As soon as they lost the playoff game to San Antonio last week, they started flooding the resale market on Ticketmaster with, like I said, some of the tickets for as low as $9. Um, I could get good seats, like really good seats, for as low as 50. Um, yes, it is equine versus bovine. It is the Farm Bowl. Stallions versus Brahmas. Yes, I will be very careful about erecting my deck. Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, the paint job's 8 years in the making. So, at this point, I can't mess it up.
Yeah, deck jokes are always funny. Yes, they are. Just like fart jokes. Fart jokes are always funny. Here's one. It's not a deck joke. It's not a fart joke, but it's still a good joke. Did you know that after a boat tips over, you can wear it as a hat because it is now capsized? Come on! I read that and I laughed. Why do you hate, Reese? Why do you hate? Why do you hate? Huh? Why do you hate, Reese?
I don't.
At least I got a boo out of Chris Long. Thank you. Thank you. At least I got some reaction. I didn't even get a veiled nose snort from my co host here.
No, you did. My mic's just too weak to pick it up. So my grandmother-in-law is a professional clown.
Your grandmother-in-law. Would that be the wife's grandmother?
Yes,
Okay.
is a professional clown, and her motto is a groan is worth three laughs.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yes, Charles, what would you like? Or is that just saying, Chris, why? Why are you doing this? Time out for me? Yeah, time out for me. But yeah, so the deal is San Antonio went 7-3, lost both games against St. Louis, including the game I went to for my birthday. So they played the championship game in St. Louis. Um, and the game they lost in St. Louis was last game of the season of the regular season by 1 point. San Antonio almost had that one, but because they lost the game, they played the conference championship game in St. Louis, where they beat them by 10 points. It was 15-25. So now they're playing the Stallions, who were 9-1. It just so happens that that one loss for the Stallions was against the Brahmas. So, fingers crossed that next week I will be the proud supporter of another championship football team. I'll have had the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year, and I'll have had the San Antonio Brahmas win a championship this year. What's interesting is if I'm if I if I think if I'm correct, they were plus 1,700 to no minus 1,700 to win the at the beginning of the season. They were minus 1,700 to win the no plus 1,700 to win the championship. Um, Whatever it was, they were of the 8 teams, they were expected to be the worst team uh, in the league this year, and they turned out to be well at least second best, if not the best. So yeah, I'm excited, and hopefully this league will last for a very long time. Um, Most spring leagues don't last very long for whatever reason. Last time San Antonio had a spring league was the Alliance of American Football, and it lasted all of 8 games, and they pulled the plug on it midway through the season. So I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm crossing fingers that they will keep it going, keep it rolling, and I can be a long time San Antonio Brahmas fan. No. The closest team to you, Reese, would actually be the Memphis Showboats.
Not going to Memphis.
Um, the problem with that is they suck.
Well, problem is it's Memphis.
Well, yeah, there is that. Uh,
I drove through Memphis on the day the world fell apart for COVID.
oh yeah.
Saw 6 car accidents, a couple of tires bouncing down the highway, and a car on fire driving the wrong way.
All you needed now is an airplane falling out of the sky and
And when I said saw
and
6 car
and the
accidents,
ISS falling on top of the river.
Yeah, when I said 6 car accidents, I don't mean I passed 6 car accidents. I mean I witnessed 6 car accidents
Right. Yeah.
happen.
Right. Yeah. Um, Mike says, I need to film an unboxing. Should I do Great Northern War from CSL or Carolingian Twilight from Decision Games or Plantagenet from GMT or Inferno on the Izanzo Bianzizo 1917 from Parabellum?
You had me at Izonzo.
I I don't know what any of those are. So Charles says CSL or CSI CSL. Walkabout Games is back. Welcome back. He had to go get a snack. I you know what, Mike?
Oh, that's good enough. That is good enough for me.
Azanzo's World War One Italian front. So you okay there?
We're good.
All right.
You saw him.
Um, I have not heard anything about Pipe Creek from Flying Pig. However, I have heard they are loading uh, World of War 85, uh, Fire and Fury, or whatever it's called, onto into the containers as we speak, along with the Napoleonic game and I think the JU-87 game. Um, no cowbell in those choices. Apparently, he doesn't have a fever and doesn't need the cowbell for a prescription. Me and Mike, I vote for Captain Crunch. There you go, Hissy. Me and Mike, Pipe Creek is an expansion to A Most Fearful Sacrifice. Ah, no, I have not. Yeah, we are supposed to have a ship name by the end of this month. So, roughly 2 to 3 weeks from now, they should be on the ship pushing away and sailing our direction. When we get that, um, Lock and Load will publish the name of the ship so we can keep track of it. Isonzo River, 12 battles on the front, Northern Italy troops. Crap. Okay. I'm only on the World War 85 game found. Um, I have purposefully not been making a lot of noise about it. Um, I could, but I've got I've got I've got I've got too much respect for the OG original Grognard, Devon, to dig in hard about it. Um, a lot of companies are switching to Polish printers due to the printing in China issues. Interesting. I know there are some Polish publishers of games, and my understanding is they're pretty sound, pretty good product. So maybe maybe time to shift gears and start going to Poland. Uh, Mappa, make America print again. I would like that also. It's just for really big print runs. And when I mean big print runs, uh, a few thousand, it's I don't I don't unfortunately I don't think we've got enough printers in the U.S. to handle what's getting produced. And I think getting a printing company started in the US would be almost um, almost an unbearable expense to get started. Um, Maybe if you were able to pick up some big printing presses secondhand from someplace, you could start off small. Um, but many printers in the U.S. only print the Gallop, then still send overseas. Yep.
Hey, Chris, how's walkabout? How's the Marine test figure coming?
What's that?
I was asking walkabout how the Marine test figure was
Oh
coming.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know, Hissy. I think we'll see more localized printing soon, with companies switching to print on demand. See, that's the thing is, how feasible is print on demand for, like, again, from lock and load? I can see that for books. Absolutely, I see that for books. But when it comes to board games, he says it's kind of meh.
Is it just at that scale the details don't paint well, or I'm not trying to dog anybody. Just I'm curious because I've got a little bit invested in that.
Um, Mike says Blue Panther quality has been suffering lately, and yes, they are US. Too many mistakes printing counters and such. Now, when you say too many mistakes printing counters and such, is that a failing of the company that is producing the product, not providing uh, a good master art, or is that a failing of the printer, like doing misaligning of stuff and miscutting? Because I could see it going either way. Because I can't remember what game it is, but I picked up a game that yeah, DVG's Nimitz. DVG's Nimitz was just horribly miscut on some of the frames. Um, Not enough for me to squawk about it much, but yeah, there's some definite misalignment on what got printed and how it got cut. His cat says, "I know Game Crafter is U.S." So sometimes the art files are not being vetted well enough. Other times, Blue Panther misaligning the counter sheets or having two fronts and no back, etc. Okay, yeah, so it's a mixture. It's both goes both ways. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not an easy job. It's not. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be the one responsible for producing stuff like that, um, because you know as a business, I'm on the hook for producing quality product. And if you give me a quality product to print and I screw something up, well, it's on me to have to fix that problem. So if I print out a counter sheet that's got a front and a front, right, and I send you 1,000 boxes of one frame front to front out of say 5 frames, well, I have to reprint all of that and send it out to you, which makes you look bad because now you're having to hold back on sending it, or you sent it and now customers are complaining that they've got a frame with two fronts, and nobody wants two fronts. You know, ask Napoleon. See what I did there? Two fronts. You people are killing me. Come on, man, this is gold. I'd been talking to the guy and was not impressed how much he did not look into the subject. I suggested less heads with beards. I don't think he liked that. Also sent him info on Stoner 63. But he did carbine version when every pick I sent had a belt.
He would have been better to do the what was it? It was the German rifle a couple of the SEALs used that had 40 round mags. If he was going to go the carbine version, he had better luck doing that because the SEALs only used the belt, the called it commando version. It was the short carbine length barrel with the gas system of the belt fed. Anyway, I digress.
Um, Mike says I'm dabbling with making my own counters. I bought an Ellison Prestige Pro die cutter. Now I need to have some custom dies made for various counter sizes. Well, that's cool, Mike. It's pretty cool. See, now what I need to do is convince him to buy counter cutters, counter custom dies the size of, and then make a box game out of Ocean Thunder. I'm just saying.
And then you could go the route of all the expansion packs and make a killer.
Yeah, there you go. Walkabout says RPD cut down.
That would make a lot of sense too. Um, ooh, you can do that? How does one do that?
You probably go into the Kickstarter and say, nope,
Okay.
because has it not shipped yet?
I hadn't even. I
Yeah, if
mean,
it hasn't shipped yet, you can back out because if it hasn't shipped, then they haven't charged you anything.
okay. Well, I'm
Yep.
haven't done it yet. Probably won't for a little bit, but depending on how it keeps going, I might not.
Yeah, he says you go to manage Kickstarter.
Good to know.
The only good thing about, um, I don't want to say the only good thing. One of the good things about World at War 85 uh, finally shipping is they already charged my card. So when it shows up, it's like, hey, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I will say this though. Besides about the search and destroy Kickstarter, besides a few inaccuracies and yeah, the crazy beard stuff, um, the flak jackets and the rifles look good. And if he's doing the platoon without heads and you can print your own heads, I'll just go beardless heads. And I can get uh, I
Okay,
can
so
get
he's,
I can get 135th scale heads. Not a big deal. So
yeah. He says it's still going. So if you want to drop out, you need to drop out before it completes,
yeah, and
before it
I
closes.
might do that. To be honest, I don't know. We'll see. Haven't decided.
No. We've been all over as normal. We've been all over tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little bit about food. Um, we've talked about board games some. We've talked about miniatures some. Um, he said he mentioned the claymores to him. They're huge. Like
Mhm.
the models are huge in comparison to the figures, or that they need to be huge.
The
Because a
cl-
claymore is only this about this big.
the claymores are knee high, on the model.
Not like from like if it's so if this was a claymore, you're talking
If the claymore is on its stand deployed, it stands knee high to the on the
that's
model.
like twice as big as it needs to be. So yeah,
Mhm. Now,
that's
in 28 mil, I guess I understand it, but if I'm going to use it for 135th stuff,
yeah. If they are knee high, they shouldn't be any taller than your boot.
hmm, they're not big.
From the bottom of the mine to the top of the mine is maybe 6 inches, and they're maybe 8 to 10 inches wide and about 2 inches thick, if I remember correctly.
Well, let's see. I've got 11 days to go.
So honestly, in 28 millimeter, this little satchel is probably even too big for a
Mhm.
claymore in 28 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a little big. But this isn't a claymore; it's a satchel.
Well,
It's a pack of some nature
I,
that goes on
I,
these little gliders.
I'm going to stick with it because, as I said, I can get heads. Uh, I can get heads and helmets, and some of the bodies look fine. I think it'll be worth it. So we'll see. I may regret it, but they're STLs. I can modify them as I want to. So
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, we didn't talk a lot about the Quar tonight. We'll talk a lot of much more about them next week when brother Jay comes on, um, and hopefully Reese will be back painting more horses and camels.
I'm preaching next Wednesday night, so I'll be late.
You'll be
So,
late. Okay, that's fine. So, but yeah, guys, thank you one and all for hopping on and watching tonight. It's always good to see y'all come on and watch me. And if y'all ever want to talk about something, my brother Jay, Chris Long, a quar too far. I'm hoping that we haven't gone a quar too far with this project. We still, it is the weekend of Veterans Day in the United States, which is the second weekend of November. So we still have all of July, all of August, all of September, and all of October. We've got 4 months to put this thing together. We have decided that we're going to use Fistful of Lead as the rules, with the understanding that next year, a year from now, we're thinking of being of doing bigger battles with the Quar. We're we're also thinking about doing a an extra little thing at this year if we can pull it off with the Quar. So, but we'll talk about that next week. Um, but Reese, thanks for coming on.
absolutely.
Your horse looks great. Your camel is going to look amazing. As always, you do good work.
I
I'm
do try.
hoping to have my I'm hoping to have my Germans at least painted so I can show them off. And a couple of my couple more of my P-51s ready to go. I'm gonna get some pictures of my B-17s. I think they look really good. They're not exactly accurate on the placement of the stars on the fuselage, but you know what? They still look good.
Hey,
What are you going to do?
walkabout before we drop off. I do have some Expeditionary Force miniatures, Zulu War stuff coming in. So
Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys. Uh, as always, thank you all again. It's always fun. And Reese, thanks for hopping on with me. McMurray, sorry you're dealing with a bad signal, but I'm glad you were able to be there as well. And until next time, we will see you on the flip side.